All right. Welcome back to Trill Truth Sports. This is Trill Truth. Get bringing the Trill Truth here at the Trill Truth Network. Okay, today we're gonna be talking about LeBron James versus Zion Williamson. So please like, share, and subscribe. Support the content. We're gonna definitely be bringing you a lot more current events, hot topics, sports, of course, on this particular channel. But first and foremost, here we go to the video. Now, Zion Williamson, as everybody knows, is a beast. I mean, he's a very exciting player to watch as far as he's something different. And I'm a basketball guy. A lot of people, we've never seen anything quite like Zion Williamson. I mean, yes, you could say he reminds you of a certain blend of guys. To me, the most accurate depiction of Zion Williamson, or description of Zion Williamson I could give would be that he reminds me of a combination of Draymond Green, Charles Barkley, and Larry Johnson. Young Larry Johnson, the monster Larry Johnson, Grandmama Larry Johnson. One thing I will say though, he has a better handle than Draymond Green and Charles Barkley. Everybody knows he's more athletic and more explosive than both those guys. Larry Johnson was extremely explosive. Big, strong, built like a brick house guy. Larry Johnson was around the same size as height as Zion. He was probably around, like, I think Larry went like 6'8". Coming up, he was one of my favorite players. He was even in Space Jam. I used to love Larry Johnson as far as his game, personality. I mean, he's even from the South, man. Was from Dallas, Texas, out here. Went to UNLV. UNLV back in the day when I was a little kid. They was UNLV. That was the Fab Five Michigan before Fab Five Michigan. In fact, Jalen Rose will tell you that the UNLV squads, those were the inspiration to what that team became. They were all fans of the UNLV squad that ended up losing to Duke, but they were a very dominant team. Cole Anthony's dad was on that team, Greg Anthony. And shout out to Greg Anthony, man, for being able to raise his son to become what he became. I mean, we're gonna do videos on fatherhood. I'm a father myself, so props to that man. Props to all those guys. I was a fan coming up. But anyways, back to the point. Zion Williamson, me in my opinion, he has an opportunity to possibly dominate the NBA game in a similar fashion from the perimeter and interior. I mean, picture Shaquille O'Neal with a handle that could rebound the ball, take it full court like Shaq. I mean, like Charles Barkley or Draymond Green. Be like a point forward, play center. Get this, Zion Williamson can actually play center. I'm in Houston. Well, the Rockets are playing small ball. Draymond Green has played the bulk of his career now on a dominant franchise, championship winning franchise, and will be in the Hall of Fame. Draymond Green is a Hall of Famer. People need to recognize that too. Draymond Green will be in the Hall of Fame. Playing center. Undersized. Using a frame that's smaller than Zion as far as his frame. With less athleticism and less strength. So now you bring in, and didn't even handle the ball as good. And I think that Zion Williamson is a better passer than Draymond Green as well. So I like Zion's motor. I like his talent. I like his athleticism better than Draymond Green. And then you throw in Charles Barkley, who is a Hall of Famer, top 50 player, a guy I grew up watching as a kid, who was very dominant, MVP level player. But here's the catch, and here's where Zion has a lot of room for improvement. Yes, he is definitely more explosive, more athletic, and a better ball handler than Charles Barkley. He has not shown or proved to me that he can rebound or board on the level of either of these guys that I just mentioned. And that's from Larry Johnson, that's from Draymond Green, or Charles Barkley. And Charles Barkley was 6'4". I mean, Charles Barkley was up there with Dennis Rodman every year in rebounds per game. Charles Barkley was averaging over 12, 13 rebounds, man. I personally saw games where Charles Barkley had over 20-something rebounds with over 30 points at 6'4". Was he a great three-point shooter? No. But you have to respect him. By the time he came and he was playing here in Houston, he was washed up and fat. Now even he tell you that. That's why Scottie Pippen didn't like him. That's low-key why Clyde Drexler was really not really feeling him too much. I feel like, hey, man, we brought you here to win a championship, man. You coming in here, you not taking this serious. So, major props, and I love Charles Barkley as a player. And he's one of my favorite people to see on TV. He's very necessary. When it comes to this sports and entertainment, sports is entertainment at the end of the day. He is an entertainer. And he was a great basketball player. Zion Williamson, until he proves or shows to me that he can rebound, and if you notice, a lot of these people have been comparing his hype to LeBron. I haven't even mentioned LeBron in comparison yet. And we're about to get into LeBron in a second. And how I feel the greatness of LeBron James is kind of underestimated in a lot of ways, or as much as he is hype, as much as he is elevated, I don't even think he gets the credit that he deserves, to be honest with you. And that's a crazy thing to say, because he deserves a lot of credit. But anyways, when it pertains to Zion Williamson, him being able to physically dominate guys as the freight train he is, I'm not surprised. I'm surprised by the fact that he's been able to do this at this level this early, putting up the numbers that he's doing scoring wise, because I thought that teams would be able to figure out that, hey, when he's inside that 15 feet, we're going to have to double this guy, or we're going to have to run somebody over to help, because one person is not about to stop this man. He's not a great free throw shooter, so I was thinking that maybe you guys would start putting this guy on the line a little bit more. Make him show and prove that he can hit 70, 75%, at least 75+% from the free throw line. If he's not doing that, then, I mean, you got to show me that you can hit this 15-footer. You got to show me you're going to hit this 18-footer. Oh, and it's a 3 and analytics league where it's about penetration in the lane, dunking or layups, or shooting threes. Okay, so you hit 4 threes your first game out the block. So I want you to show me that you can hit 35% from 3. I'm going to clog the lane. And in this NBA, you can kind of play zone, or you can utilize zone principles. When he was in college, he didn't rebound. And when I'm saying rebound, I'm talking about, I want to see you get 10+ boards a game. Kevin Durant averaged over 10 boards a game in college, his 1 year in college. Michael Beasley was getting over 10 rebounds a game in college. To me, that's my barometer. Somebody who's this athletic, this explosive, a very good defender, a great help defender. He will block shots. with his athleticism. So when people compare him to guys like Blake Griffin was not a legit shot blocker. And for all his athleticism and hops and all of that, I never really respected his inability to get over 10 boards a game. Russell Westbrook is averaging more rebounds than Zion Williamson by far. In his last 2 to 3 years, we talking about a 6'3", no, in the last 4 years. We talking about a 6'3" guard, point guard. A guard, I would say guard. He's more like a guard. Russell Westbrook, and he's my son's very favorite player right now. And I love Russell Westbrook. This man out rebounds Zion Williamson, man. So you 6'6", 285 pounds, 48-inch vertical, and Russell Westbrook is over 30 now. Not as athletic as he was 2 to 3 years ago, if you guys pay attention. As fast as blazing as this man is, he's not as athletic as he was because those dunks, he used to get a little higher on the rim. Now he's closer to the rim. He's still Russell Westbrook. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. But, he's not 25-year-old Russell Westbrook on the hop. Pre-Patrick Beverly injuries, And he's still boarding at an impressive clip. And he's still boarding more than Zion Williams, which is unacceptable for me. If I'm coaching him, that's the big thing for me. I know you can score because you bigger, stronger, you coming down like a freight train, and he's a very good finisher around the basket. Very efficient, plays well without the ball, runs the court very well. And then let's go to the point where I really personally believe the man needs to lose at least 15 to 20 pounds. I don't care what anybody else has to say. You guys don't understand the law and the physics of the body if you don't see that this man cannot carry 285 pounds trying or attempting to play 82 game season plus playoffs. And look at the way he walks. You're not going to be able to do that. There's laws and physics. This is nature. Your limbs are not built to carry that type of pounding. That's why you got guys like Greg Oden who never really had any type of career. A lot of big guys nowadays like Joel Embiid have had all types of injuries. The reason why Yao Ming had to retire early was because of his feet. So if you guys understand that the man is 19 years old, you're not even thinking about how you're going to be at 25. Listen, man, that's 5-6 years from now. Larry Johnson, the guy I'm talking about, Larry Johnson was a great athlete, powerful player. Had back injuries. Then he had to change his game by the time he went to New York when he was playing with the Knicks. Larry Johnson was no longer Grandmama Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson had skills. Larry Johnson developed the three-point shot. Larry Johnson could do a lot of different things on the basketball court. He was a very good shooter as well. So Zion Williamson needs to develop his shooting ability right now. I have never seen this man shoot off the dribble. Never. I've never seen him. I've seen him shoot off the dribble in high school highlights. Okay. I'm talking about break somebody down, pull up 15-footer. Come out of the triple threat, 2-3 dribbles, pull up. Break somebody down, pull up from 3. Stop and pop 3. Off the break, pull up 15-footer. I mean, you tell me when you've seen Zion Williamson do those things before you start saying, okay, he's the next LeBron James. I saw LeBron James do all that in high school. I saw LeBron James do that from day one, off the gate. You know what I mean? This man is 17 years into the game. Zion Williamson is 19 years old. Think about that for a second, man. Think about that. Please do. And then look at the stat line and look at the game highlights that you're watching, man. understand Zion Williamson is like maybe 4 years older than LeBron's oldest son. Think about that for a second. A lot of y'all don't remember Michael Jordan. I do. I grew up in Michael Jordan era. I was a kid in Michael Jordan era. Michael Jordan was that man. Me and LeBron James are around the same age. We came up at the same time in high school. So we saw it all. Michael Jordan, when he played for the Wizards, that was his 16th year, the last year. 16. And he had been retired twice. He was not like this. He was not in the MVP race. He was not. In fact, I believe they actually set aside and had one of the All-Star reserve spots designated to MJ to make sure MJ got into the All-Star game. You know, they made sure Michael Jordan got in the All-Star game. He wasn't at the point where LeBron James was, where he was actually the captain and running, you know, like, people, be honest, you still view, and we still view LeBron James as one of the top 3 to 5 players in the game right now today, period. And then when we look at those guys that are at the top, you still see essence of his game better than those guys. Like, you want to say Giannis, who I think has the potential to be probably one of the most dominant, best players of all time. And his shooting ability isn't on par from the free throw or three that LeBron James is. So certain aspects of the game, if we came down to it, you still see where LeBron James can make a difference. Giannis doesn't pass the ball quite as well as LeBron either, and he can't run the floor as far as running the show and running offense like LeBron. You just have Giannis at point, or can bring the ball up from time to time because he's such a dominant athlete. 1-2 dribbles, boom. With that length, he's in scoring position. He can get a shot up. You got to foul and put him to the line, or he gonna get the bucket or dunk on you. One dribble from the 3-point line, off of triple threat. One dribble, he's at the cup. What you gonna do about it? That's you know. Then you can put Giannis on any of your best players on the defensive end, and he gonna make them work, or he gonna stop them, or he gonna make it very difficult for them to do what they do. So then you say Kawhi Leonard. He can go both ways, but Kawhi Leonard's somewhat like a robot. He's from that Tim Duncan mode where the personality is not necessarily shown. He's somewhat of an assassin. He's a quiet killer. I love Kawhi Leonard. I love his competitive nature. I like how he basically goes about his game, period, because that's my mentality. I come from that old school of, if I'm better than you, I'm going to score on you. You can't stop me, and I'm going to stop you. That was it. The way I prove that I'm better than you is I'm going to do what I want to do. You ain't going to be able to stop me from what I'm doing, or I'm going to score more points than you, because when you go up against me, you can't get it. So you going to, after the game, know that, hey, whatever you've been doing against everybody else, you can't pull that over on this side. Yeah. Now, Kawhi Leonard physically can't necessarily maintain that, which is why he is the king of load management at this time, which I personally hate. I'm like I said, I'm a father of a 4-year-old who loves the game, and the game is in it. And I purposely will not purchase a ticket to a regular season game, because I'm not gonna pay my money to go see a game where the best players not playing, man. I'm not even gonna risk that. You know what I mean? I love the NBA, but I'm not gonna pay the price of an NBA ticket in the parking and everything like that to go to the game, and then I show up and LeBron's a late scratch. Kawhi's a late scratch. oh, Russell Westbrook, James Harden sitting out tonight. Nah, man, I'm not doing it. Playoff games, I'm definitely going to spend my money because I know for a fact that every game matters. The intensity level is higher, and all of the best players are going to play and compete at the highest level. That's when I spend my money. That's when I take my son to the game. LeBron James, man, everybody, I can't say it enough, man. As a man, as a basketball player, there'll never be another LeBron James, just like there's never been another Magic. Every other year, everybody's a new. He's the next Magic Johnson. He's the next Michael Jordan. Oh, he's the next LeBron James. No, 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 no. Please stop. Zion Williamson is the first Zion Williamson. And for his betterment, I hope that he has a team of people around him. I hope he is teachable and coachable enough to accept the fact that he's going to have to make certain sacrifices and changes to be able to get himself in the best possible position to be the best possible or greatest player he can possibly be. And to do that, he's going to have to go ahead and lose 15 to 20 pounds, get his body fat. I would say target the body fat. He gets his body fat down. Now, he does look like muscular. Like, he doesn't look fat and sloppy. But, come on, man. You know you got to get down to around those 260s. He's only 6'6". Michael Jordan was 6'6". Kobe Bryant, God rest him in peace, and may his soul and him and his daughter rest in power. Kobe Bryant was 6'6", 6'7". And you saw their frame. So, I mean, we not saying go down and be that. We talking about get down to 260, 265. Now, one of the things that I also notice about this Pelican team is guys like Lonzo Ball, Brandon Knight. These guys are getting better. That trade actually worked out pretty well for both sides. I think it remains to be seen whether or not this Lakers squad is going to be able to win a championship with its current construction. I do still think that they need more help scoring the ball, specifically against teams like the Clippers. I think that they're relying way too heavily on a 17-year, 35-year-old version of LeBron James. And LeBron James is, like I said, an incredible athlete. His dedication to the game is you know, I have a brother who's exactly the same age. I'm the oldest. I have a brother that's exactly the same age as LeBron, born a week. LeBron's birthday is December 30th, 1984. My brother's birthday, January 10th, 1985. And so I've always seen LeBron almost like the little brother I never had, like a little brother that I always wanted. You know, like imagine growing up with LeBron, me, you know, and seeing the game, like we had the same like love for the game, and just the way I could from the day one, I could see that it wasn't like LeBron was just somebody that was a basketball player. He studied the game. He read the books. He watched the videos. He knew exactly where he stood in this game and what he meant from. And we talking about 14, 15 years old, 16 years old. So he already knew what it was coming in. It wasn't like somebody who's, oh, I'm a young kid, I can just play basketball. No. So they was already underestimating his intellect and understanding of everything around him, and that's why he succeeded. You know, these young kids that's coming up that are quite kind of aloof to everything, may not understand how the world or this entertainment world works. He understood it all from day one. and that's why he's special. Zion, unfortunately, does not have that. Because if he had that, you'd already know. That's something that you don't develop. Like these, so they say the it factor. What Zion has is it of, he's sort of like, uh, I would like him to sort of like a, I can't say Shaq. Shaq had personality out the gate. He sort of got sort of like a Michael Jordan type personality where it's like, well, I can't even say that because he doesn't have Michael Jordan's charisma. But he's kind of like a slice between, I don't know, it's hard to describe. Zion is just Zion, man. You're not gonna get like great. He's not Barkley with the personality and the sound clips and all of that. He's not necessarily the most funny guy, you know. This is the entertainment industry, so even in sports, you know, anytime somebody's paying hundreds of dollars to go, it's just like a concert every night. You're just on tour. Even though it's a sport, people come to the game to see Zion. People look at YouTube videos to see Zion highlights. Right now, you can pull up and filter on YouTube the highest viewed videos for the NBA. Guess what? It's LeBron James and Zion Williamson, which is why I'm making this video right now, talking about it. And the reason why is because he's something that people haven't seen. His, you know, he has that it factor that draws people in. But the thing that made Kobe Kobe, the thing that makes LeBron LeBron, the thing that made Michael Jordan or Magic, unfortunately, Zion is sort of like a Kawhi Leonard type, Anthony Davis type in the personality department. You know, his ability on the court can be transcendent, but his personality doesn't necessarily complement that the same way, which is why he'll never be on the level of the guys that I just mentioned in the view of overall consumerism. When we talk about consumerism, we're talking about the money to be made in this business. Now, Michael Jordan signed Zion Williamson just like he signed Russell Westbrook. My son wears the new Russell Westbrooks, the black ones. Because Zion Williamson is going to be a humongous star, and his athleticism is off the charts. So he will be very well marketed. I think that there's a lot of great things you could do commercializing him, but you have to do it in a way of he's like this big attraction type, you know, sort of like I could see him playing one-on-one against Godzilla, some stuff like, you know, similar to like some of the stuff they did with Larry Johnson. Of course, not the grandmama, that was Larry, but you know, Penny Hardaway had Lil Penny. Lil Penny was actually more popular than Penny Hardaway. I used to watch the Penny Hardaway commercials for Lil Penny with Chris Rock. I love Penny Hardaway, but it was about Lil Penny. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do with Zion. And I went to school for, big shout out to my school, TSU alumni, Texas Southern University, that is. Don't forget it. But, oh yeah, shout out to Meg the Stallion. Yeah, definitely. Meg the Stallion, TSU alumni. H-Town representative to the fullest. Yeah. But Zion Williamson, man, he's special. And I think that I'm going to enjoy pulling and watching his career develop. The things that I think, just like in my previous videos, I talked about Deontay Wilder and the dynamic right hand punching power. With Zion Williamson, he's Zion Williamson with the dynamic athleticism, physicality, and you know, the great thing about Zion too is if he's able to drop in weight and be this efficient player, he'll be able to play with a lot of people because he does not dominate the basketball. You know, props to James Harden and Russell Westbrook representing the Rockets right now. Uh, I believe personally James Harden is a top 3 Rocket of all time. I've always said that since he's elevated himself. The reason why I say top 3 is because I would rank Hakeem Olajuwon number 1, Moses Malone number 2, because without Moses Malone, bringing Olajuwon at the Fondy Rec and working with him on his game and showing him the ropes on the inside in the post, we don't get the same dream. We don't get the dream shake. We don't get none of that. So Moses Malone, who I'd like to give him props right now, Moses Malone was like the king of basketball with him and John Lucas here in Houston, as far as, you know, like just being a part of the city in essence of what he represented to this city, living in this city, and this is a Hall of Famer. We talking about a top 50 player, played over 20 years in the NBA, and basically I was a nobody, and this guy came into a restaurant and said, "What's up, B?" He spoke to me prior to me even speaking to him. He knew who I was. And I wasn't the guy averaging 40 in college, in high school, and college superstar, and somebody getting drafted out of high school. None of that, man. I was a guy who hooped at Fondy or played high school ball or whatever. You know, who was looking to play at TSU and whatnot. And he knew about me, and he knew of me. That's greatness right there, man. And, you know, in times I would see Moses Malone, may his soul rest in power. We talking about a guy who he would just be out and about in the city, moving around like a regular guy, man. You know, coaching Fondy League teams. You know what I mean? And people don't understand, like, you know, New York has the Rucker and things like that. We got the Fondy Rec here in Houston. But Houston basketball basically wouldn't be Houston basketball. Dream wouldn't have been a dream without Moses Malone. And he took the Rockets to the finals, and he won MVPs. And, you know, Moses Malone, I have to give him what his respect is due. James Harden hasn't taken the Rockets to the finals yet. Both those men did. Outside of that, James Harden is incredible. But personally, me, like I said, I list myself 5'10". I'm really like 5'9.5" guard, point guard. I would not want to play with James Harden. The guys that play with him, that style, you know, honestly, it's not, something that a lot of people would want or love to play with, honestly. And then he's not the defender that neither of those men were, so I can't put him on the level of those guys as a player. Statistically speaking, he's off the charts, man. Off the charts. I call him Video Game James personally. Well-earned nickname. But Zion Williamson does not dribble the ball that much, runs without the ball, runs the floor well, catches alley-oops, doesn't shoot the ball a lot, but can get his buckets efficiently in high percentage positions. So he's going to definitely have a great career, period. Let's just let him be the first Zion Williamson. Stop comparing him to other people like LeBron James. And let's also respect guys like Charles Barkley and Draymond Green for their rebounding. And understand that as far as Charles Barkley is concerned, Zion is not on his level until he proves that he can rebound the ball at a higher clip. But that's the video. That's the Trill Truth. Like, share, and subscribe. Trill Truth Network. Definitely look forward to new content. See y'all next time.